All right. So I want to go off on a rant. This isn't even like scripted or anything, so it's going to be pretty chill. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I just want to talk about Nintendo's choices for this new Switch 2 generation and how I feel that they created competition where they didn't need competition. So they're pushing themselves into another corner of the market that has more competition. I don't know why this board is doing this. So the position that they were in during the Switch 1 felt more like it was a childish console that most people bought for like a secondary console. It's like they weren't in direct competition with the other manufacturers. They were like extra. It was like everybody had either a PlayStation or an Xbox because those were against each other, or a PC. But then people would buy from those Xbox owners, PlayStation owners, and PC owners. They would branch out and buy a Nintendo Switch because of the first party exclusives and the mobility of it up until about 2021 when the Steam Deck was released, and all of the the handheld emulation devices that came like 2023. But also other people later on a little bit, they would, once the Steam Deck did relatively well, like 3 million copies, or not copies, but 3 million units, they started releasing ROG Allies and MSI Claws. They started doing that and kind of creating this market that was trying to compete with Nintendo, but at the same time taking a higher price point and making it more. They took Nintendo, the Switch, and they went above. So Nintendo was still, people would still have a Steam Deck and play the Nintendo Switch because it was just that affordable. And because it had those first party exclusives. So Nintendo now, when they announced the Switch 2, it seems like they're in direct competition with Steam Deck, the ROG Ally. Now they're going direct competition with Xbox and with PlayStation 5. So the PlayStation 5 is roughly the same price as the Switch 2. I guess was the PS4 relatively the same price as the Switch? It may have been, now that I think about it. But for some reason, but then they also had the other SKU, the Switch Lite, for you could find it for like 170 sometimes. So like 170. And then you would buy. So I think Nintendo will come out with a Switch 2 Lite relatively quickly. Probably within a year. Like after a year. Like not within a year. Within 2 years. So between the year and the second year mark, I think that they will have a Switch Lite. Switch 2 Lite to kind of get that lower price point entry and to have it be more applicable to the market that was originally targeted for the original Switch. It just seems like they're making decisions now to go in to direct competition with people that they were, companies that they were not in direct competition with the last generation. I know it's taken me, what is it, 5 minutes to describe this, but it just, when I think about it, I get kind of frustrated because it seems like they're, they're putting their head down and they're attacking in a situation where they could have just kept a very similar approach that they did last time. But now they're focusing on frame rates and making sure that that these can do 60 frames per second at 4K. with HDR, and also it can do 120 frames at 1080p. They're breaking in to the market that they weren't in the last generation. They were in the video game market, but it was at a lower entry, a lower price point, lower resolution, and more of like a kiddie like style, a kiddie vibe. I don't know how else to explain it. It's I know that's like a it's like a hippie term, right? It's just a vibe, right? It's all about emotions, but like it feels that they're going more of like an elite, like a premium product, when that last Switch didn't really feel premium. Like the Switch Lite feels like a toy. It's like a little bit kind of flimsy, and it's, you know, it's like small and it's super colorful and stuff. It doesn't seem like they're going that route with this Switch 2. It seems like they're going the opposite route, where they're like, all right, you guys wanted to make handheld PCs, so we're going to give our direct competition to that handheld PC that you guys have been releasing. And it's like, well, why did they take that approach when they could have just done what they did, made some slight upgrades, still had a weaker system, and kept the price point lower, like way lower? So people were like, well, we have our PS5, PS6 will come out in the next 3 years, Xbox will come out, PCs are always adjusted. So they'll just be like, well, then I'll pick up the Switch also and play those first party games. The first party games are also way higher in cost, and they already didn't go on sale hardly ever. So they already went on sale hardly ever. Their prices always stay the same for the games. So now they just upped everything because of the success of the original Switch. Development costs, but this company, Nintendo, has made billions of dollars net revenue, net profit in the last 8 years since the Switch popped up. This thing has been a huge success. And instead of, showing appreciation, they end up kind of taking the opportunity to test the boundaries of the consumers. So how much are you willing to pay for a Mario Kart open world video game? How much are you willing to pay for the console itself? I don't think 450 is ridiculous. I actually predicted that it would be around 450 a few months ago when they did the first little announcement reveal trailer. I'm okay with that cost. I just think that the specs, and I wanted a Switch Pro, like I wanted it to be a Switch but better, and it is. But for some reason, now that it's happening, it feels like they're trying to go in direct competition with other companies, when at that last generation it did not feel that they were in direct competition with them. It felt like it was everybody had a Switch, and then they got their other thing that they normally play on, or they already had that other thing that they normally play on, and then they got a Switch to complement it. Now it just seems like it's going to be more of like, I either have a Switch or I have nothing else, or it's specific hardcore fans who already play on PC, have PS5s, Xboxes, and then also get it because they're like doing videos on it, or they just want to experience it. And it's like, that is like an elite market. It's not like a spontaneous purchase at this point anymore. $500, a half a grand, is not just like a spontaneous purchase, plus $80 video games. So you go in, you buy 2 games, 160 plus taxes, it'll be 170. Then you buy the console at 450, so 450 plus 170. I mean, we're looking at a lot of money just to plop down on a weekend random, when you could have got a Switch Lite and a couple of games on sale for at most $300, when you could buy a new Switch, just a regular red box Switch, for $300. A couple of games, looking at like $400. And now it's $600-700. It just seems like they went, well, our success has gotten us here, and we're going to press this boundary. And if people really want it, they're going to buy it. If they don't, they won't, and they'll miss out on, the Mario Karts, the Donkey Kongs, the Metroids, the Animal Crossings, the Smash Brothers. Like, they're going to pay for it because we've sold X amount this entire last generation and everybody bought it. So that's, our sales were so high, we can afford to increase this price. And they probably can. But that doesn't mean that I need to agree with it, and it doesn't mean that I need to support it the same way I supported the Switch 1. The Switch 1, all physical, all on the carts for the most part. First parties were mostly on the carts. And I have a nice physical collection of this stuff. I have a nice digital collection also of the Switch 1. But this generation coming in, this is, yes, I'm buying the console, but these games are going to be few and far between. I'm going to buy very minimal. If they're on the cartridge, I will buy it physical. But it's going to be like an Animal Crossing, a Smash Brothers, and a Mario. Like that, there's like 3 games that I'll buy. If they did a 2D Donkey Kong, I would buy that for sure. Other than that, pretty much their other games, like a golf game, Mario Golf at $70, get fucked. Trash. Mario Tennis, $70. No. What else do they got? Like Arms 2, $70? No. Splatoon 4, $80 online experience. No, not for me. Princess Peach 2 or whatever, $70. No. Like Zelda, whatever of the Wild, probably they're going to charge $80 for it, right? And people will buy it. But that's, so now we're at what? Me buying 4 games for the whole generation, just passing on all the other stuff that I normally would, like a Mario Strikers Battle League. Absolutely not. $70 for that, like a sports game that's online. No. And I'm just making up these prices. I'm just making up these titles. But it's like, when I think about the things that came out that I took that extra step with and bought on the last generation, there's no chance on this generation. There's no chance. Absolutely not. That I will take. It's like, let's say a Luigi's Mansion 4, $70. I think they're on 4 now, because 3 was, yeah. Probably not. It probably won't attract me like that last one did. $60. Yeah, it's $10 difference, but it just seems like they're penny pinching. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to go off, talk about my feelings. It's kind of like a therapy session. So yeah, I appreciate you if you stuck around 13 minutes to listen to me rant about this in front of this computer screen and camera. But yeah, thanks for tuning in.